Hello gang, and welcome back once again to Prison Architect. I'm Lonelywolf, and it's been a fair bit of time since we were actually back with Prison Architect. We've got some changes done that we've made. There's one problem we've been coming into though, and that is civil unrest in the prison due to our scheduling. Due to the timing of our schedule at the moment, it's actively detrimental to our needs for our prisoners. Primarily when it comes to things like family and recreation, especially for our high security prisoners. This also gets exacerbated by the fact that we have a massive gang presence of the whatever green is, the Ravens? I don't know what they're called. Owls? Something? Whatever their name actually is. Anyway, they had a lot more members. We had a massive riot that occurred. Massive cleanup operations. I nearly got incarcerated, but you know, we're okay now. The yard needs to be expanded in size. We're probably going to make it another L shape. Why not? Forestry is big enough. This little extension over here is going to become Supermax. The plan here is to stuff all of the gang leaders of each respective gang into Supermax on their own. They will have no yard privileges, though, and no visitation privileges, anything like that. They will literally be mainly on lockup, with a little bit of free time in a shared common room, etc. The goal of doing that is to isolate the major gang leaders from the rest of the gang so that they can't do stupid events like attempt to take charge of a room, or then you attempt to evict them and it turns into a bloodbath, etc. We also want to expand to some multi-tiered low-quality cells down here. Here we need to make some adjustments. We also are wanting to adjust the food schedule. A whole lot of changes that need to be made. So the primary one comes to the schedule. We're going to wait till it hits lockup to change it. And we're going to get the schedule changed over while we allow money to come in, build the Supermax section. As all the prisoners come feeding in, making sure we have guards on duty gets difficult, as well as feeding them all. Especially when we only have a 2-hour section to do it in. A lot of these guys barely get their food halfway through the second hour, which almost makes me want to bump dinner meal up to 3 hours. And move the meal times around. But anyway, we're going to wait till sleep before we adjust this section. The sleep times aren't going to change, I don't think. We'll leave that as is. But everything else will change. We want to give them time to traverse the prison to get their activities. Mainly, in this case, sleeping. Alright, and now we'll just annihilate that. Spam lockup through the board. We'll start in the morning with free time. We'll give them a 2-hour block of free time. This gives them anything they need to do. We'll then give them their 2-hour eating time, followed promptly with diversifying our area here. We're going to ship the civvies, minimum securities, and those guys will get to yard. These guys, however, will be heading straight to work / lockup. Well, these guys are in the yard. And they will also head to work lockup. We'll have 4 hours of work lockup there before we head to work free time. Next, these guys will head to the yard. Well, these guys get another set of whatever. And 3 hours for eating the evening meal before going to bed. What this change in the schedule should allow, a lot of free time for these guys though. Maybe just 2 hours at the end. Well, anyway, what this should hopefully allow for them to do is to be able to have the free time sections enabled for them to be able to go after things they need. We also have Pepperoni beating the tar out of the cell. What do you do, shakedown? Let's get all the contraband out of here, please. Put that to 480 for no apparent reason. Oh, they are finally tunneling down here. It's interesting. They typically tend to fight their way out. I'm comfortable with whatever they want to pursue. It does lead to a problem though when you start getting these things in low supply but in super high demand, where fights become ever more likely. Which is a pain in the butt. Finding more tunnels. Let's come out by 20 meters. And then down for this section of the yard. And we will remove that from forestry. We'll expand the yard to give them more operating space, as we've been getting a little crowded in here recently. I just need time to move around. And hopefully this added benefit of the amount of free time they'll be getting should assist them with their needs so they're not quite as fed up. If we go check out needs right now, obviously hygiene's going to be the highest lasting one. As our bladder and bowels are going to start becoming prominent. Exercise comes secondarily, as well as family and recreation. Freedom clothing, yeah, it's always a nightly thing. Luxuries is still a huge problem. Apparently our shops aren't operating in a high enough capacity. Literature, didn't we just get a library in down here? We did. Spirituality, books, should be okay. Should be able to get up and start on hygiene shortly, as well as bladder and bowels. Schedule should change over very shortly. One more time. How many hours of sleep do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have 8 hours. That seems normal. Although most people don't seem to be having a problem with sleep. Could we run them on 7 hours of sleep? This is an interesting question. We go to the resume. We could bump them. We could bump the yard down for these guys down by 1. And give them a little more work lockup and then a little bit more work free time right there. Give these times the more work free time. Stuff eating down to there. And then stuff lockup in there. Let's give them from 12 to 6. Only 6 hours of sleep. But if we look at the needs, they're getting their sleep. So apparently it's overtly much. And give them a little bit more time to explore. Have fun, I guess? Because they don't really seem to be having that much need for sleep. Their other needs seem to be far higher on the list of necessity. Anyway, while we're waiting, money has come in. It is time to start planning this sucker out. If we go to planning and go to walls, we got this pathway here, and this pathway here, with this interior section available. What we can do is just maintain a pathway there. This entire inner area. Have that happen. That's only 4 blocks wide. So that can be cells. And if we go down here, we can put a canteen in here. 9 blocks, right? So, and then we got 9 once it all saves. 10 for a pathway. And 11 for that. Cancel that. Pound down. So that leaves you 9. Oh no, we gotta go one more. Yep, and then the serving tables go there. That can be the canteen, so you got, that'd be bench, table, bench. Hold on, we're using walls for this. We should be using objects. You got your bench, your table, bench, bench, table, bench, bench, table, bench. And then you can just fit 2 serving tables along there. Rather tight canteen, but it should be more than large enough to support that. And then you can just put the kitchen right here, and all they have to do is just come out and around. That is a double opening. And then for a kitchen, we'll plan that out, and then we can just put a common room here, and the rest can be cells for Supermax. So let's get them started on building the walls. White tiles for the canteen, correct? Yes. You know, it ends up looking green with the floor coloring rules. And we just gotta find serving tables. Still fit in there, no problemo. That'll get us a canteen right up. And if we go and look here and check out needs of our prisoners, everything seems to be getting taken care of. They're on free time, so they can take whichever they want. They can choose which activity they want to pursue most. So some are pursuing recreation, some family, some exercise, some hygiene. Food's gonna be the next big hitter. The only other people needing bladders are probably those who are stuck in, whatever. Same with bells, solitary. Because they're on free time, they have the ability to take care of these needs and get them lowered a bit. Food's the next one, obviously, and as they come running in, I'm focusing on these guys, but we also have these guys up here to think about too. The mad rush coming in. Okay, so they got this thing sorted. Demolish the walls. Put grass in there. And ask them to demolish every object. We'll lose a bit of money on the trees that were purchased to go in here already, but overall, it's okay. The expansion had to occur at some point. I could have just timed it a little bit better, I guess. We'll go and check out needs again. Sans luxuries, they seem to be handling their needs relatively effectively. Hygiene's the hardest hit one still. And the recreation is. We're on work lockup for most of them at the moment, so recreation's going to be stifled for a while. Hence the parent rioting currently going on. I don't really know how else to punctuate their time. We could just shift yard up to the same moment. There's no reason not to. Gives them a little bit of time to do some recreation. A tiny bit. Not much, though. They'll barely get out there before it's right back to lockup. Alrighty. Utilities. What is this green guy on? Which circuit? He's on this circuit, which is nearing completion. How much it can power. We'll stuff some cabling in there to get that filled up. Otherwise, we're going to need to run some cabling up this way. To the kitchen. Who doesn't have a job? Got kitchen. A lot of jobs. Work in the kitchen right now. Cleaning cupboards going, mailroom, library, everything's pretty much going. Doing their jobs. These guys are just basically stuck in here for a while until it gets open. For more hours. We may have to adjust the schedule a little bit further. I'm going to give them 3 full hours. Schedule might as well match. Because they are separated. Prison levels rising. I'm going to stuff them on work free time early. We'll change it back later. Their needs for recreation should satisfy much sooner. Oh, we had a gang moment go on. We still have a gang moment going on. Oh, they quit. Some of them quit. Not all of them. What are they doing? They're going to take over the common room. This is why I hate gangs. They're going to come in here and start a ruckus. If you look at intelligence, intelligence deployment, intelligence, what am I? Statistics. Where is it? Gangs, there we go. They're trying to take this over. They don't have enough soldiers in here to do so. It's just a gang stage off. We've got enough guards in here, and there's not enough of them in there of each type. Oh, this leader might cause something. Currently took over this room. We're going to start an eviction down here. Yep. The annoying process of evicting. Got some high-level gang leaders in here. May not end up going well. Ugh. Alright. Got 2 deaths, man. Alright, let's plot out the kitchen. Okay, apparently I'm very good at installing things. I overplanned. Kitchen. Apparently. All that can shift over, that'll give them length down there. Awesome. Alright, so now for the kitchen. You know you gotta have a sink. You know you gotta have 2 sinks. You can stuff 2 fridges in there. You can then stuff your cookers, and your cookers, and then your fridges and fridges. Now if you really want to be adventurous, you can stuff a fridge and a cooker there. And then you just gotta have a wall up here. Seems straightforward. Get them to run those utilities over and in. There's big pipe is right there. Simple enough to run it like that. This will become super max. We can stuff their little common room right there. That's all they're gonna get. The rest is gonna be cells. Now let's check out the needs tab. Let's see how we did today on this new schedule. Hygiene, exercise, and family are lower on the list than they were. A degree. Some of them are already starting to go to sleep during this lockup phase, which is where they were getting an extra hour, I think. Every other need on the list seems to... Yeah, safety's just going to climb through the rift. Every other need stands these 4 seems to be working out okay. Hygiene's a huge one. Exercise, family, recreation. Hygiene's becoming a huge one. I don't know, you look at the schedule and you're like, they've got 5 full hours of free time throughout the day. They could easily take care of it, plus yard times. I've got 7 hours out of each day that they could take care of this simple need. Clothing's typically being met, freedom's okay. Really, everything else seems to be going just fine. Hard to say what their problem is. Anyway, that's going to be it for this episode of Prison Architect. I'll catch you guys in the next one.